And hello again. I'm happy to see you in the 16th slot, which is deep tech, but it's also a bit special since it's sponsored by X Europe and DMS Accelerator programs. And one important thing: both of those programs provide equity-free support, delivering matchmaking, promotions, and training to deep tech and data-driven startups. Applications are open for both of the programs, so check their websites. And what is more important, go to the expo booth area and check their booth. And I'm happy to name our judges now. So Joao Fernandez, Leonard Jokers, and Ivona Simmerman. Joao is from from Develop Minded. Ivona is from Funding Box, and I mixed it up. Joao from Bright Pixel, and Leonard is from Develop Minded. Sorry for that. And let us welcome the first startup, Weston. Cheyenne, hello. Let us see your presentation. You are muted currently, so yeah. If you can please unmute yourself. Yeah, hi.
Yes, thank you for receiving us. I tried to share my screen, but...
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah, we can see it now. So just go to the full screen mode with your presentation, please.
Okay. All right. Do you see it right now?
Yeah. Are you ready to pitch?
All right. Yes.
Okay. 3 minutes are yours. Good luck.
Perfect. Thank you for receiving us. I'm Cheyenne Astley, the founder and CEO of Weston. So Weston is a fintech in the asset management space, offering a platform to enable wealth manager to pair their human expertise with our technological experience to strive in today's changing environment. If we look at the current wealth management industry, they're facing challenging times. Although the wealth management assets are increasing, their profitability is shrinking. So on one side, there is decrease in fees, increase in customer expectation, but more importantly, there's an innovation gap where, as opposed to large investment banks or hedge fund, they don't have the resources for them to adapt in current situations. And if we look at the current solutions available, they don't make it because often they are black box, which provide low context for a decision maker to understand it and incorporate it. And the second thing is most of the solutions are based on historical prices, which gives you very low information about how the future is changing. So we believe to get informed decision, you need an understanding of both situation and data, but its human ability to kind of extrapolate its experience from and to kind of adapt into unforeseen situations. And so that's what we do. We're kind of bringing an ocean of data and experts' contextual knowledge, so those institutions can can focus on what matter the most, which is their clients. Our business model is very simple. So we are totally incentive or interest aligned, where we get part of their basically success fee by co-launching new products and coming up basically as a sub-advisor. In fact, we've launched our own product about a year ago using this approach, which has been running pretty successfully. We raised a bit over 1 million in seeds with 20 million in commitments for this year, and 2 clients are managing over 6 billion for launching a new product. It's a large market. I mean, it's a $16 trillion market globally that we're seeing, and just in Switzerland alone, those are representing over $100 billion. Although we're kind of focusing an international clientele, and we are differentiating by being totally interest aligned, quantimental, this human and machine intelligence, and context driven. We are raising a seed round of 1.5 million to basically bring this and scale this. So we don't have a sales team and marketing yet. All was from our first connections. And Yeah, I heard, I think. And so, yes, to basically be in sales. And in terms of our team, I myself has over 10 years of experience just managing my own capital, trading, and I also have this previous venture which I exited. Also, my co-founder Stephen has over 25 years experience in AI and some of the largest institutions, GP Morgan and HSBC. And we're supported by well-experienced advisor that has founded their own private banks, own funds, and they help, and two also external partners, family office CIOs. Thank you for your attention, and I'm here to answer any question you may have, and also be happy to exchange afterwards.
Okay, thank you so much. We have 3 minutes, 20 seconds for the questions. Judges, your turn.
So you mentioned that you acquired your first clients through a connection, and what would be your strategy for new clients acquisition in the future?
Right. So it's a lot of exposure to kind of use the success that we had so far as a use case to communicate with others. So we do have plans on being more out there through podcasts, but also lots of events, for example, with Connect's family offices, wealth managers. So getting more exposure through those channels, and yeah, expanding our network, doing some online marketing sales, which is what we actually don't have really. And so yes, focusing kind of on a cold approach, but also kind of expanding this warm approach as well, right?
Thanks.
Hi, Jan. Thanks for your presentation. Just curious in terms of the human expertise, the 80% that you mentioned. What are the elements specifically of that you utilize, and how do you implement that at scale, as well as how do you train your models to actually have quantifiable points of insight that can be used for management?
Yeah, great question. That's very core to what we do, how to capture that human expertise. So there is two part of it. The one, which is right now we're using mainly, is basic by aggregating different domain experts. For example, this comes from other fund manager, other traders in chat rooms, and lots of also information provider, what we call them signal providers, and we gather those data, and we have an approach which basically trains a models based on an exogenous model. So it could be, for example, a fund manager where we define some functions and we train on finding a niche. And what we end up is having a model which is very defined, which is completely independent, a very defined expertise in the market coming up from that independent source. And so the second one, that was the first one. And the second, we're looking at actually expanding it and have something a bit active where we can come up as a signal provider and get incentivized for providing us with the signals. And so we can find if we get basically combine this with what we currently have, and if that signal provider give us an asymmetry in terms of information that we already have within our system to improve our current models. I can answer your question.
Thank you very much, Cheyenne, for your presentation. So I'm curious about which is your main challenge that may come up from interactions with investors, which has been their major concern eventually.
Yes, well, I think the major concern is in our space is primarily track records, where there's some, we do have one product which we launched live about 1 year, half a year ago, but for them it's not enough to really assess this. So sometimes they're a bit reluctant because they want to see more success, like in terms of time. And I think this has been the most challenging. How do we kind of provide them enough confidence about? Yes, sure.
Sorry, Cheyenne. I'll have to interrupt you.
Great.
Thank you so much for your pitch.
Yep.
Thank you for showing
Pleasure.
up. And let's move on to Ilya. Base track, hello. Can we see your presentation, please? You are muted, just letting you know.
Okay. Yep, I know. Thank you. And thank you for having me here, dear colleagues. Today, I will present our base track smart freight solution. So, since 2018, we are still the only company that demonstrated all-weather autonomous driving. We've demonstrated our technology on ice track and on public roads. We are among the top 50 European mobility startups and top 50 innovative Asian startups. Today, we use our technology to make human drivers robot efficient in logistics, where fuel is around 30% of logistics costs. We display the optimal driving parameters to the drivers of heavy-duty trucks, while taking into account a lot of parameters inside and outside of a truck. We build high-precision digital maps to use the concept of virtual rails. It is based on the same technology that we use for all-weather autonomous driving. BaseTrack helps to maximize the use of the inertia of trucks to deliver fuel efficiency. Some of the core team members had a business in the area of geoinformatics. Our head of R&D department is a doctor of technical science in the area of wheeled vehicles. We are the core team of professionals in this area. Now we sell hardware for each truck and take an annual subscription fee from each truck. This year, we plan to connect at least 1,255 trucks. With 20% fuel economy, an average truck in Europe will save over 21,000 euro each year. A company with a fleet of 2,000 trucks will save 42 million annually. Currently, we display the optimal driving parameters to human drivers. We've reached up to 30% fuel economy in some pilot projects with logistics companies. And later, we will provide all-weather autonomous driving technology, autonomous trucking technology. We already became the first company to put all-weather automated truck on public roads. We work with huge logistics and FMCG companies that own almost 20,000 trucks in general. And BaseTrack is raising €1 million bridge funding to expand across Europe and soon become a unicorn. But we are closing the deal in 2 weeks. So it is also a good time to discuss the next step of BaseTrack. BaseTrack is raising Series A, and we plan to close the deal this year. BaseTrack is going to become the most efficient road freight service provider. Thank you. I will be glad to answer your questions.
Wow, thanks. Almost perfect timing, so you even have 10 more seconds during the Q&A. Judges, your turn.
Hi, thanks for the presentation.
Thank you.
Just a quick question around the hardware. So is it off the shelf or is it something you've created from the ground up?
That is something that we created, and that's our current hardware. It's really simple. We have a phone that will display you the driving parameters. And of course, to use this phone, we have to understand the different variables. For example, we have to understand what truck will use this phone and what is the road we are currently on. And that's why we also connect our hardware to the truck. So we have a small box that we connect to the CAN bus of a truck. And this box is able to read some kind of information from the truck itself. So we use this information to build the optimal driving parameters in accordance with the road and with the truck, with truck characteristics and the characteristics of the load that is carried by this truck.
Thanks. And just a quick follow-up question: that how do you deal with the data transmission? So in terms of loading it up and analyzing it to provide the directions for the self-driving truck, basically.
First, we've created a base of different trucks, and for each truck, we approach to this truck and make some kind of analysis of this truck characteristics to find out what is the most efficient gear selection and etc. for different parameters of the weather, of the road, and etc. And using this information, we have like a base of optimal driving parameters for each truck. So you've been asking about all-weather autonomous driving, but currently we use this information to provide fuel economy recommendations for human drivers. And only later we will automate acceleration pedal on public roads, and then we will automate the full truck.
You mentioned fuel savings as one of the values you deliver to your clients. Have you asked them what other values they see in your solution?
It's fuel efficiency. Everyone loves fuel efficiency. And that's why we have clients, those are the biggest logistics and FMCG companies. And for them, it is crucial to have lower fuel consumption.
And the drivers, are they happy that you tell them how to drive?
Of course not. We have a lot of drivers who are on the wheel for about 20 or 30 years. Of course, they are not really happy. But we actually try to help drivers. So we have some, let's say, additional parameters to help drivers to be motivated and etc. So we even provide some kind of benefits for drivers also. And if a driver is able to drive more efficiently, that he usually does, we can show this to their fleet owner, and they can provide bonuses for those drivers. And to be honest, after 10, 20 years, it's really hard to find a real human driver. And even right now, we don't have experienced drivers who come to this job. And people who don't really have how to drive trucks try to be truck drivers right now. So they don't really know how to drive. The ones who just came to this business, they don't know how to drive.
Okay, thank you, Ilya. Thank you. That was a very nice pitch. Thank you for joining us. Let's move on to Carmen. Is it? Yeah. KG Intelligence. Right. Can I please see your presentation? Since now we are kind of inviting your Slack, so if you can, yeah.
Can you see my presentation now?
No, I can see your Slack conversation.
Okay. Sorry for that. I'm just gonna switch to to my presentation.
Well, let's hope no sensitive data was there and no one made a screenshot.
No. I don't think so. So it's okay. Okay, one more last try. Okay, share screen. So now, is it okay?
Yeah. Okay, so 3 minutes are yours. Take it away.
Okay, guys. Hello. Thanks for the opportunity. My name is Kamen from KG Intelligence. And have you ever wondered what exactly is artificial intelligence and why it matters? So we in KG Intelligence, we actually thought about it a lot. So we came to the conclusion that artificial intelligence is a useful data-driven tool for solving complex operational problems, such as minimization of waste, maximization of profit, supply chain optimization, and etc. And this is really useful for small and medium-sized enterprises to optimize their operations. But with that, there is also problems because it's a complex system. AI is really hard to understand, and also it's hard to be applied in practice. It's a kind of a black box, and that's why we some AI and machine learning specialists are required, which are basically an expensive asset. And also there is a difficulty with collection and preparation of the data for the AI-driven solutions. So our vision is to make AI as available and as close as possible to the small and medium-sized enterprises that don't have AI expertise or don't have the infrastructure for that. So how we achieve our vision? We provide production grade software as a service, which is an AI platform with the following attributes: seamless user experience, capability of solving problems without much of data gathered, accessible price. This is really important to be really accessible for the small businesses. Out of the box API integration, complete and useful documentation, and transparent AI monitoring. So it's more understandable and transparent, for which could encourage the end users to try it out. And so we have also a tough competition, of course. There are a lot of companies which are doing research in that field. For example, the Tyco or AutoML, which provide for out-of-the-box solutions, which are not that transparent, however. So what differs us from the competition? First of all, our technology. Here is the list with our technology we utilize in order to achieve the attributes which I've explained earlier about our platform. And so also the team is very important so because the team is basically the people make the products work. And we really put an emphasis of the team and how we work together. So our team is compact. We really put an emphasis on make great products, and we capitalize on craftsmanship of AI models. Our go-to market is basically organic growth. First, we want to bootstrap, to create traction, to network, to find collaborations, and to find clients, which is important, on which we could test our platform and make it bulletproof. And when it's production ready, then we want to deploy it so that it's used for businesses and also used by users. It's going to be subscription based, and the users are going to have the opportunity to try out already trained models. Our challenges is that the cloud computing is expensive, so we are trying to reduce the computational costs so that it's more affordable. And so our motivation for participating in the summit is basically networking, finding potential clients, finding potential collaborators, and also exploring the ecosystem. And it's also good to see if our business is sensible. So thanks for the attention, and you could have questions. I encourage discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we were already in the Q&A sessions, kinda. So you have still 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go. So judges, feel free to ask your questions.
Hi, Kamen. Thank you
Hi.
for your presentation. So I noticed here some eventual lack of focus in terms of the operational problems that you are tackling, and even the perspective of B2B, and then also tackling B2C. Are you considering better defining the focus of your solution or priority target?
So it's basically a really generalized solution which could be applied in various scenarios. So right now, because my expertise in the team which we are working together, it's mainly focused. We are. Our specialty is supply chain optimization. So right now we are basically trying to apply it in that field. So we are contacting basically some consultants which could see the value in our platform, and to, for example, recommend it to some interested businesses. So right now, we are approaching it from a supply chain perspective, but we are also eager to apply it also in other use cases.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you mentioned that not much data is needed before you implement your solution. And it seems a bit surprising, since we all know that the outcome really depends on the data you put in. So how could you advertise this feature?
That's a good question. So thanks to one technology which is called transfer learning, we are able to utilize already trained models on some data which is similar to be trained on a new problem with new data, which is not that much. So the model is trained, but it could be just calibrated in order to be already capable of being applied in the certain scenario.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, Cameron. Just from my end, so when I hear you talk, there's a couple of questions that just pop in my head. So I'm wondering, like, what's the product here? So what is the value proposition? And also, just as Joao mentioned, what's the product focus? I mean, you mentioned you're already working in supply chain, so perhaps it would be good to just kind of fit this proposition that you have and explain it within a specific application, because right now it's like something that can help everything, which is usually not that interesting because it's not specific. So to create a product out of it, you'll need to somehow probably make it more specific, and so you can also validate it perhaps to a better extent whether this is something viable.
Oh yeah, thanks for the
Okay, so
feedback. Right
Cameron,
now,
I'm sorry, I will not let you to address this question here. However, you can maybe address it in the private conversation that we have on the StreamYard. So just to make sure you're gonna be assessed properly by judges. Thank you so much for joining the pitch, and let's welcome Andrew with AI Spotter on the stage. Hello, can we see your presentation, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I share my screen.
We can see your screen, but not presentation yet.
Hold on a second, it's coming. Can you see it now?
Yeah, would you like to go into the full screen mode?
Yes.
Awesome.
Can you
So
see it
have
now?
Yeah. So you have your 3 minutes. Please take them away.
Okay. Hello all. I'm Anri, founder of AI Spotter. We provide the most advanced video analysis serving for streaming and broadcasting companies, meaning that we find the predefined events from any video source automatically. Let me first tell you a story. I want to tell you about Marvin. He's CTO of sport streaming company, and he wants to show his subscribers highlights from every match they stream. But the thing is that they are streaming over 1,500 matches every month from second Bundesliga matches and wants to create highlights from those matches. How to make that possible? He was trying to solve the issue, drank a lot of coffee and have sleepless nights and was smoking. And it would have been would have been a huge and expensive effort to do that work manually. Also, he was not able to use Opta or any other metadata to help himself because no one producing data from those matches. Luckily, Marvin talked to us and we made himself happy. Now he sleeps well, has less coffee and stopped smoking. With help of our solution, he can now show highlights from each game during the matches or right after the matches. And also Marvin can easily expand his business and run additional parallel streams. Our proprietary AI technology can use any video from any camera, from any angle to produce high-quality video highlights. And we are the only ones in the market who can take any video stream or pre-recorded video to create these highlights and clips. Other products require special equipment and setups and experts. Ours do not. The video streaming market size is 711 billion euros in 2027 and is growing. Our business is based on B2B SaaS model and our pricing model consists of setup costs and monthly fees. And we have paying customers, and this year we have secured already 41,000 euros sales. And SoccerWatch and YLE our paying customers whom we provide automated video highlights. The founding team composes Sami, who has developed our intelligent algorithm and had experience about computer vision from the last 15 years, and I, Andri, having background in SME funding and business development. And we have Timo, who has extensive experience working with large IT infrastructure sales and development. And also we have interns and use subcontractors to complement our team. And now we are looking for funding 750,000 euros. Want to know more? Talk with us. Thank you.
And thank you so much. That was perfect timing. The clock is running now. So let's move on to the Q&A sessions. Judges, your turn.
Hi, Henri. Just
Hello.
jump in here. Thanks for the presentation. In terms of, you say that you have some initial revenue with customers. How do you intend to scale your revenue? So, what are the channels that you're using, and also how do you expect to grow your business either in your country or abroad?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we are because our business model is fully digitalized and we are cloud based. So that's make our expansion more easier. And also we are planning to expand our businesses in setting our for example business agency, for example, to Germany first to expand our markets. And also our business model makes this scaling because when we automate and we do automatically everything and we train our models so we can, sell those models like we have done in football. We have trained our model to find sort of corner kicks, goals and openings from those matches, so we can scale our business doing that way.
Thank you, Henry. So I'm wondering which would be your ideal adopters of your solution, the paying customers. Do you have any profile and eventually per sector? For instance, is it esports or regular sports or any other kind of events?
We have started our business in sports and especially football, ice hockey, and floorball, because in machine vision or computer vision you have to start your business training models from somewhere, and we have started in sports, and now our focus customers are now sports streaming and sports streaming companies. And also we have done some also natural documentary projects and pilots for our customers. So that is our focus at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
And what is the pattern of the behavior of your customers? Do they come back? What is the churn rate?
Yes, they are coming back. Like YLE, our national broadcasting company, we started our cooperation last year, and we did some football matches with them. And now we continued them this winter with a natural documentary with beaver, and now we are continuing again with the football, and then hopefully we will get more that side from football. And now we have coming another customer from abroad that we are doing with the nature documentary with them. And we have some, like we have this German streaming company, so we've been working with them now for a year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Henri. That was very lovely. So let us welcome the next presenter, Jimmy, with Taikian. Are you here, Jimmy? Yes, you are.
I am. Can you hear me all right?
Wonderful.
Everyone?
Please start.
All right. Great. Yeah, hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm co-founder of and CEO of Taiken, where for the past 3 years we've been creating a future of opportunity through digital identity, together with parties such as the Red Cross, UNDP, and Turkish government. So far, Taiken's generated over 200K in revenue, raised 1.8 million, and won multiple prizes and awards since 2017. Now, in 2020, identity issuance and verification processes are still broken due to siloed, inefficient, and often still paper-based identity systems. And in our increasing digitizing world, the degree of friction caused by these systems is staggering. from global metadata correlation leading to election meddling, to enormous privacy breaches, to costly KYC duplication processes, all the way to 1.2 billion people who are still without identifying documentation today. Identity management needs fixing. So Q, self-sovereign identity, the next step in evolution of identity management, where organizations could finally issue tamper-proof, persistent digital credentials that couldn't be destroyed by any man-made or natural disaster, and people could finally regain autonomy over their data with a high degree of privacy, security, and control, and without the fear of eternal loss or fraud. So now I hear you thinking, Jimmy, this sounds fantastic, but why are we not using this yet then? Because it's complicated. Up until now, SSI has not been particularly user-friendly or easy to integrate and entirely smartphone exclusive, requiring dedicated dev teams, multi-week training, and other cost-prohibitive investments to actually use the technology in a meaningful way. On top of this, for many use cases, there's the regulatory requirement of auditability and impossibility with all information stored on the edge. Like I said, until now. With Anna, SSI is but a simple API call away. And if you need apps and a highly intuitive dashboard, we have that. And if you need feature phone compatibility, we have that. And if you need auditable web wallets, we have that too. It's built on open source libraries, battle tested with the Turkish government and UNDP for issuing work permits to increase refugee employability. Anna is the way to integrate SSI into your workflows for smartphones, feature phones, web, leaving no one behind. So before COVID, Juniper Research estimated that global IAM market size would be over $20 billion by 2024, 1.1 billion of which would be attributed to SSI. Like I said, before COVID, before Anna. Now, because we've been able to SaaSify SSI, the barriers to adoption come crashing down, enabling more sustainable business models to arise as we can finally just charge per verification request or per active connected wallet. Of course, I don't do this by myself, but with a world-class team of absolute magic makers with expertise in distributed systems, identity management, and mobile network operators who have made major contributions to the infrastructure of this technology over the past 4 years. So thank you all very much for your time. And as we're raising around 1 million euros, please come see me afterwards or schedule a call. Thank you.
And thank you. Almost perfect timing. You still have 3 minutes, 50 seconds to answer the questions. Judges,
Great.
Anything?
Thank you for your presentation. And what are your plans for development? How you're going to consume the potential investment?
So for now, like I said, since we've moved into finally being able to SaaSify the technology, we're onboarding new clients now. And so with that, it would be great if we can scale our dev team as well and scale some of our sales to go with it.
Yeah, but this is how you spend your money. And the question is also about what are you going to achieve with that money?
Oh, yeah, no, naturally. So one of the biggest projects we're working on now is, like I said, within Turkey, within the government. So really being able to allow for a higher amount of inclusion there for refugees. That's a big part of it. But then alongside of that, of course, comes also the scale that we can reach on the SaaS side within the private sector.
Thank you.
Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for the presentation. I mean, it's a very good and a presentation that you gave. So I'm just wondering, what's the thing that you rather not talk about?
Oh, the thing I'd rather not talk about. I'd say back in 2017, 2016, when we started, we had a lot of assumptions about the technology, and we thought that where we are now, that we'd be there in 2018. So this meant that we spent a lot more time working on the tech than we thought we would in the beginning. And that was, I guess, some naivety on our part in the beginning.
So what are you nervous about right now?
What am I nervous about? I'd say, meeting demand is an easy, I think, cop-out answer there. But it is, I do foresee some bottlenecking from our side if we can't scale up our engineering team, for instance. to be able to actually meet the certain deadlines and demands from clients. That makes me nervous.
Thanks for answering.
It's a very good
Jimmy,
question, by the way.
Jimmy, I'm wondering what would be your USP comparing to competitors, the one that you refer above all?
Yeah, so right now, our main USP. So this space is evolving quite quick, and you see companies relative in our space taking on different positions as well. So as of right now, one of our biggest USPs is that we actually customize the technology as well. So we have a certain product suite that we can white label, but then we also offer on top of that we customize it for you, so that you don't have to even have your team learn about how to integrate the APIs and everything. Which is still like kind of that piece of education that we catch up. And I think over time that's going to change. A lot of competitors right now are working on edge wallets, so primarily smartphone. That's a very crowded space, I see. And I don't think that on the long term, there's going to be a lot of revenue there. So that is something that we've slightly moved away as well, and moving more towards cloud-based infrastructure.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And still there are no questions, and we are running out of time, so we have only 1 second left. So thank you very much, Jimmy, for your pitch. That was very impressive. Thank you. And let us welcome the next startup, Jessica Monad. Hello. Can we see your screen?
Yes. Hold on a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, can you see a full screen?
Not full screen.
All right.
I mean, we can see your presentation, but not in the present mode.
All right, let me just, sorry, let me just put this. Okay, what about now?
Yeah, much better. Okay, so 3 minutes are yours. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. I am Jessica Mendoza, and we're building the first admin hub for your subscriptions, bills, and documents, so everything can stay handy in one place. Managing admin is incredibly difficult, particularly during life changes like moving home. It costs time, money, it causes stress, and the problem is a little bit deeper. So on the consumer side, we have people who are losing mail, who are exposing themselves to identity theft. They have unexpected fees that arise because they forgot to update their address. And on the B2B side, we have the connectivity problem. So there's no continuity of when a person is moving from one place to the other to be able to reinstate contracts or also offer new products and offers. This is a problem that is significant in the United Kingdom, as it costs 771 annual costs to businesses. And here I'm adding some feedback that our users have told us. With the subscription economy booming, this is a real problem. So what we have at the moment is a personalized solution that allows for anybody to log in, and we are able to identify all of the accounts associated to your household by using minimal information available from them. We have 1,000 verified service providers in our database that we're able to connect with. And we are able to send real-time requests sent to the service providers. And now they're asking if they can provide more, such as offers. So why now is we have the post-COVID increased flexibility in consumer patterns shifting towards moving, and that's also a regulatory environment that's moving pro-consumer, and there's more awareness about where are my subscriptions, where is my data, where is everything lying. The market size is significant just because we see ourselves very small in a market and with the potential to grow into potential in other avenues. This is there's a lot of interest across the board on this. Really quickly, impact. We think making an impact is really significant, particularly for us, and how we can best divert resources from information being delivered completely to the wrong place altogether. So let's reduce that. We're working on a carbon footprint calculator with a university at the moment, and we're also establishing ourselves in different entities to make a greater impact. Our competition is rather old-fashioned, or insurance-led, or unrecognizable. And we really see an opportunity for us to carve our space where we're not just about home setup, but we're also about admin management as a whole. So our business model is traction. So we have generated revenue. We just had a freemium product over the past year. It just went live. Our revenue is up 14% this year. We are all over the UK at the moment in 67 cities. On the B2B, there's a number of companies that are taking our information. This avenue is not being monetized and at the moment. And the B2B2C is the one that's being more monetized at the moment. Everyone, it wants a piece of this, of what we're solving. So we see affiliate partnerships like really providing us really good traction. In terms of a team, we have a team of diverse individuals. We have investors, angel investors at the moment that are from recognizable venture capital firms, and also people that are strategically aligned to help us grow. For example, like Alta Vita, who's a corporate relocation company.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just okay, you're finishing. So yeah.
Yes, so that is us. And here's some feedback that we have received from users and comments online.
Okay, so we actually are already in the Q&A session, so we have only 3 minutes, 10 seconds left. So judges, if you are ready, shoot us with your questions.
Jessica, I'm wondering how do you see in the future the combination of approaching the B2B and B2C, where you see the biggest potential for your growth, and also how difficult it has been to onboard service providers, or things that haven't been so much because you already have 1,000, but
yeah,
you can comment on that.
Yeah, so we're using actually demand. So we're using consumers using our product to tap into like the B2B side. And that is the best way to do it because they almost cannot refuse. And this is important. This is our user customers that they actually have who are migrating to a new place. And they need to know this information to be able to best serve them anyways. So there's no reason that at the moment that we're seeing much hesitancy on that side. So that is how the B2B and B2C connection. On the B2B2C, so we have large property technology companies seeing us as a value add that they can provide to their clientele. So at the moment, we're signing them and they are providing us in their apps, they're promoting us to their audience so they can use us whenever a person is relocating home. So the hook here is helping them update their address, and then from there, they can manage their admin.
No, thank you for the presentation. You mentioned that you are a little bit ahead of your competitors, but if they can see that consumers love your product and love using your app, I assume they can copy it. It would be not that hard. How you're gonna stay ahead of your competitors that may follow you?
So right now, the competitors are rather outdated. They don't have the technology that we have. We have a really core differentiator that nobody has, which is the personalization aspect. So we're able to personalize experience. So the results that I get about the admin that belongs to me are completely different than yours. And then yours, you know, that they're all personalized. Nobody has that. In terms of like how we're building our moats, we have branding elements that we are creating just to create that sense of trust and making these connections across the board with multiple service providers and also connecting with even governments. We work with local governments. It is a rather difficult task for somebody to just be able to take on. This is a business. This is not just a feature.
Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation, Jessica. Just a quick question around the acquisition cost of the customers and how you intend to scale onboarding more people on your platform, and also do you have any idea about the churn rate currently?
Yeah. Zero
Jessica,
acquisition cost.
sorry,
there's no marketing.
I will ask you to answer this question on the chat, maybe on StreamYard,
Okay.
maybe in Hopin, whatever you feel more comfortable with. But for now, we're running out of time, so thank you so much for your pitch. Let's move on to Gagan with Sit 'em Up. And hello there. Are you planning to share your screen?
Yeah, just a moment.
Okay, perfect.
All right, can you see my screen now?
Yep. Yeah, but it's just not in a full screen mode, not yet. Okay, now yes. So the floor is yours, 3 minutes, yeah.
Thank you, yes. So I'm here to talk to you about Sit 'em Up, a data company coming out of the Netherlands, focused on climate resilience. We focused on the global megatrend of urbanization, which is going to see 2 out of 3 people living in cities by 2050. And all these people need a lot of infrastructure with energy, with water, waste. All of that has to be climate resilient. What we noticed was infrastructure sector that is in charge of building all these projects face 2 threats. One with the ever-increasing climate risks, and they also have to think about the transformation with fragmented, unfiltered data and models. So what we bring to the table is really introducing a data platform with more than 135 data sets on climate risks, on biodiversity and natural capital. So identifying the hotspots of these climate risks, but also prescribing what nature-based adaptation is also one of our USPs. So looking at decision access to improve their operations from planning to implementation to operations, and also reducing the cost of the asset. We noticed that infrastructure is a relatively low digitized industry, and we want to offer them what is their workflow, either as a data platform, which is a SaaS application, or an API, which builds into their infrastructure, or do data products, which are custom built, which has been most of our revenue so far. A sample of some of our data sets is looking at heat islands. We look at biodiversity, we look at air quality. Heat islands are an urban threat affecting the elderly and the vulnerable populations. And we also have data sets that prescribe green and blue infrastructure that helps reduce these hotspot areas. Looking at biodiversity, this is a core factor for for the models that we use. We use the model itself to develop this biodiversity metrics. We also get air quality data from satellite data, which is updated once in 3 days. It is a core indicator for livability factor in cities. One of our examples with innovation potential is how we use multi-parameter spatial analyses to develop these insights. Looking at the market, we are going to see climate adaptation costs exceeding 300 billion USD by 2030. This is for a total infrastructure investment exceeding 3 trillion. So the infrastructure companies that are in charge of building it and maintaining it have to protect their assets, and the financial institutions who fund and finance these projects need to protect their investments. We focused on government. That's how we got started out with the province of South Holland in the Netherlands. But we quickly realized that the government, although a great partner, were difficult to deal with as an initial startup. But it is really great to understand which governments face these issues, and then we target B2B. That's sort of our approach right now. Looking at the competitive landscape, we look at spatial analytics and data as a service as established markets. And we're looking at nature-based solutions as a novel method that we're bringing these insights using analytics and as a digital platform. The team in the Netherlands, we're 2 people, one focused on product and preaching, and the other focused on customer success and sales. And most of our design and development teams are remote. And we focus deeply about the SDGs. It's a core strategy for us. Looking at fundraising, we're looking to raise about 350K in capital, skewed towards development in 2021, so that we can scale higher in 2022. Looking at the milestones so far, we established in 2018, towards the end of 2018, and it has been a year journey to go from location intelligence offering data as a service to move towards more of the climate and the biodiversity crises, and how can we play our part in providing the insights for the infrastructure sector. We wish to scale with the API subscriptions and dashboard subscriptions this year and the following year. And we wish to have impact in close to 50 cities that are vulnerable and we have analyzed which cities these are so that we can provide our solutions. At the end of the day, it's looking to establish a safe and a green world, and we want to play our part providing the data.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, but we already are in the Q&A session, so would you like to proceed with the pitch or take the questions?
Oh, that's good. I can take questions.
Perfect. So we have 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Judges, go ahead.
So thanks for the presentation, important topic. And how do you imagine the process of acquisition of the corporate client?
Yes, so our clients mostly are high-touch sales clients, are fond of conferences and coalitions, and that's how we started connecting with them. But over the last year, they have also moved online. So we are trying to connect with coalitions and showcase our use cases with a particular location, and that's how we're trying to build in whatever insights we have into their workflow and slowly adopt them to the digital.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gagan. So I'm wondering what have been the dynamics of your solution in terms of product or project based, and how do you foresee it will look like?
Yes, so far it has all been projects. We had a few beta testers for the application that was more on the real estate sector, but real estate sector was a little less concerned with the climate risk unless they were asset owners. So we are building up a stronger portfolio of projects, and we wish to convert all of that into a digital platform on a subscription base. Because right now they're used to consulting assignments, which are project-based.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Gagan. Thanks for your presentation. I've seen a lot of this type of propositions already on the market. So I'm just curious, like, what's really different? Like, do you have very unique data that others cannot access, or do you do something that's unique with the data to represent it? Just curious, yeah, what separates you from others? Why should customers go for you and not for them?
Yes, so the data we use, a lot of it is open data from satellites. We get it from the European Space Agency and NASA and the Indian Space Agency. But what we do with it is very unique because we process them using machine learning algorithms for image classification, also for radar data sets. But the key USP comes with ecology models. When we take 3-4 different inputs that are from satellite data and use an ecology model to develop the nature-based solution criteria, that is something that very few people out there are doing. Because as a field of study itself, it's a very young field, but it's been brought to mainstream focus because of the COP26 and the international conferences that are going on right now.
And I'm going to stop you there. Thank you so much, Gagan. Thank you. It was lovely to have you here. Let's proceed to Joao, Analytics.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you share your screen?
Yes, just a moment. Can you see my screen?
It's loading. And would you like to go full screen? Perfect. You have 3 minutes. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So I'm João. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Analytics, and we are building intelligent solutions to manage returnable packaging in complex distribution chains. The types of packagings we are targeting range from beverage kegs, storage and handling containers to gas cylinders. They all use complex distribution chains and suffer from logistic inefficiencies, including the loss and the spoilage of the goods, as well as the packaging itself. Let me just introduce you to our team. We are a team of 4 experienced founders that complement each other and cover the main areas of the company. We worked together before for 3 years in another IoT project where we had the opportunity to work in with logistic companies and in particular in the beer industry. Based on our previous experience, we decided to start Analytics targeting the beer kegs. Let me just explain you the problem that happens with the beer kegs. The beer kegs uses 2 logistic cycles to go from the brewery to the retailers, bars and restaurants, and after the beer keg is empty, it needs to get back to the brewery using the reverse logistic cycle. During these processes, the beer owners, the keg owners, the breweries, have no visibility about the keg's location and the storing and handling conditions of the beer. This leads to losses of over 14 million beer kegs every year. This is not a new problem, and of course there are a lot of different competitors in the market. However, the established competitors all use passive tracking technologies like RFID or QR codes that don't really solve the problem. These solutions are limited to work in designated locations. They don't deliver real-time visibility everywhere the kegs might go. They require additional equipment or even manual intervention to retrieve the keg's location. They do not control the storage conditions, neither the shelf life, which leads to the spoilage of the beer. We are building a smart keg management solution that we deliver as a service to our clients that includes a sensor that gets attached to the beer kegs, reports information about both the location and the storage conditions, and using low power connectivity, especially designed for remote sensors to communicate with the cloud, the information is sent to our application that processes all the data and deliver the logistic KPIs that our clients are looking for. Our unique differentiator from the normal competitors in the tracking business, it's really the integration between the sensor and the cloud. So the sensor monitors the keg environment, sends information to the cloud that processes that data applying artificial intelligence techniques that is then able to detect all the logistic movements automatically and even to discover all the distribution chain that is part of these logistic cycles for the client. It is then able to deliver predictive analytics both for the sales and logistics, and even to alert on outlier movements and locations where the kegs might go. This information is then sent back to each one of the sensor so that he is able to monitor and to adapt his behavior to the location where it is. In terms of our go-to-market strategy, what we are targeting both industrial breweries, craft breweries, the global brewing groups, and the keg leasing companies. Our business module is divided in two levels for customers with less than 10,000 beer kegs and clients above the 10,000 beer kegs. It includes a setup fee that in the first year with the device and the sensor that gets attached to beer kegs, and the annual subscription fee for the connectivity and the access to the platform. We are now with an MVP and waiting marketing feedback with our sensor, with our own design, and the web application with the main features already validated. Our
Sorry to interrupt you.
year,
Just wanted to tell you that we are already in the Q&A session. Would you like to proceed with Paige?
Finishing. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Just finishing. So we are looking to validate our solution in the target customers, expand our market base for Europe, North America, and Australia, and improve all the predictions that we are working on the platform. So thank you. Hope you join us in the Internet of Beer. And now I'm open for the questions.
Okay, perfect. So we have 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Judges, your turn.
João, I'm just wondering if you see the highest value in software or hardware component of your solution, and if you can explain the rationale behind the option to develop your own hardware instead of using one from a provider.
Yes, sure. So the hardware is an enabler. So the value is really on the software part, even the software that runs on the hardware. And we decided to develop our own hardware because of the integration I tried to explain. I mean, we are just able to implement some of the features explained if we can control the hardware. So it's really the integration on the software side between the hardware and our centralized application that makes a difference and distinguish ourselves from normal tracking solutions.
Okay, thank you. Turnkey solution.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And thinking about the value you deliver to your clients, assume that I know what happens to my keg. How is it actionable? What can I do if I notice that the parameters are wrong or something bad happened to my keg?
Well, yeah, you know, an industrial brewery owns hundreds of thousands of beer kegs. It's not just by tracking each one of the beer kegs individually that you can act on upon the.
Yeah, let's assume even higher number. How is it actionable? That what can I do about it once I know what happens?
It's by looking at the places, you know, it's by controlling the places where the kegs go and comparing what's happening with those places, what's with the similar ones. If I understand that every beer that gets through a designated wholesaler gets spoiled in the end, I can act upon that wholesaler. If I understand that the consumption pattern on a specific retailer is faster than the others, I can generate more sales leads before the beer is run out on those places. It's really by controlling the places themselves that they are part of that distribution chain that our clients can act upon it, not specifically on individual cakes.
Thank you.
Question from my end. Thanks for the presentation. So I spend a lot of time working in the restaurant, club business, and so on. So I know there's a big fee on kegs. So when you don't get them back to the brewery, you pay quite a substantial amount of money in terms of a deposit. So I'm just wondering, is there really a need? And have you validated? If so, how? And the other question I have, is there a business case for this? Like, what can they gain with it? How does it work?
Well, yeah, I understand the cost of the keg is not covered by the fees they have on the distribution chain. And in fact, that fee grows along the chain, you know? So the distribution center who pays for the
Sorry,
brewery
João, I will have to stop
fee.
you here. So sorry,
Okay.
but I will have to stop you here. So if you want, you can add to your answer in our private chat or on Hopin. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyways, we are a bit behind the time. I just want to say thank you to judges for joining us, for your questions. Thank you so much. It was lovely to have you here. Thank you for finding the time. And actually, the last startup, and that's actually a last slot. So let us say bye to the judges and go straight to a little announcement. And it's impossible now to think of it, but actually in those 2 days, we had 100 startups. Thank you, every single startup who was with us. Thank you, attendees, for being with us. Thank you, judges. This is the end of semifinals. And stay tuned to see finals at 4:20 CET at the main stage. Make sure you don't miss it. And let me just go through the partners who are awarding our finalists, winners with the awards. So thank you, AI Startup Incubator, HubSpot, Startup Grind, Plugin Foundation, Navispace, SOSV, adworking.co, and TechNow, Next Tech Now by Publicis Group. Thank you so much for being with us and have a lovely rest of the day. See you at the main stage, 4:20 CET. Thanks.